In this video, we are reviewing Gladiator. General Maximus Decimus Meridius leads his Roman soldiers to victory against Germanic barbarians in the year 180 AD, concluding a protracted war and winning the respect of aging emperor Marcus Aurelius. Since Marcus Aurelius is set to pick his successor, the emperor's son Commodus and daughter Lucilla have been summoned to join the battle. Commodus greets Maximus's brother, knowing that he will be elected. Lucilla and Maximus obviously had a love relationship in the past. Commodus is anxious that seeing him again may bother her. Lucilla, later married, had a son and was widowed. Marcus informs Lucilla that he invited her to come because her brother, who adores her, will soon require her more than before. Marcus picks the morally upright Maximus as his successor, with the expectation that Maximus will eventually restore the Roman Republic by restoring Senate authority. Maximus attempts to deny the honor, wishing to return home to his wife and kid, but Marcus Aurelius believes that Maximus is the best man for the role since he does not want it. During a tearful session in which Commodus blames his father of failing to recognize his merits and never adoring him, Commodus admits that all he ever wanted was his father's love and acceptance, and then he smothers him. Commodus declares himself emperor and asks Maximus for his fealty, which Maximus declines due to Commodus's complicity in Marcus Aurelius's death. Commodus orders Maximus's arrest and execution, as well as the murder of Maximus's wife and infant boy by Praetorian guards. Maximus escapes execution and rushes home, only to find his family's burnt and crucified carcasses in the blazing wreckage of his villa. After burying his wife and kid, a distraught Maximus collapses on their graves from tiredness. Slave merchants capture Maximus and transport him to Zouchaba, a harsh North African region where he is acquired by Proximo, the leader of a gladiator school. Distraught and nihilistic as a result of his family's murder and his empire's treachery, Maximus first refuses to fight, but as he defends himself in the arena, his strong combat abilities gain him popularity with the crowd. Maximus befriends Hagen, a Germanic barbarian, and Juba, a Numidian hunter, while he trains and battles. Juba becomes a close confidant and companion to the bereaved Maximus, and the two constantly discuss the afterlife and Maximus's future reunion with his family. Commodus reopens the gladiatorial games in Rome to celebrate his father's death, announcing 150 days of celebration in an attempt to capture the Roman people's hearts. Proximo's gladiator business is contracted to take part. Proximo informs Maximus that his fighting skills will not be enough in Rome. He must also capture the hearts of the crowd. Maximus is first opposed to playing to the audience, but Proximo explains that it might save his life, revealing that he was a gladiator who was liberated by Emperor Marcus Aurelius after acquiring popularity. He shows Maximus the wooden sword he got at the time. Maximus is first surprised. You know Marcus Aurelius. But then he thinks that this plan could lead him near enough to Commodus to exact his retribution. Maximus leads Proximo's gladiators to a decisive victory over a more formidable army in a reconstruction of the Battle of Zama, incorrectly titled The Battle of Zama, incorrectly titled The Battle of Carthage, at the Colosseum, much to the delight of the audience. Commodus enters the arena to greet the winners and is astounded to learn that Proximo's gladiators are led by Maximus. Because the crowd's shouting approbation for Maximus prevents the emperor from killing him, he gives the thumbs up sign, allowing Maximus to live, and sulks out of the arena. Commodus continues the games by pitting Maximus against Tigris of Gaul, Rome's only undefeated gladiator, in an arena ringed by chained tigers whose handlers are told to target Maximus. Maximus narrowly overcomes Tigris and awaits Commodus's judgment whether to murder or spare Tigris. Though Commodus votes for death, thumbs down, Maximus spares Tigris, purposefully humiliating the emperor and gaining the support of the crowd. With his hated rival, now known as Maximus the Compassionate, Commodus gets increasingly irritated with his inability to murder Maximus or stop his rising popularity, while his own popularity declines. During the battle, Maximus runs into his former servant Cicero, who informs him that Maximus's army is still loyal to him. They have set a camp at the port of Ostia. Lucilla, afraid of her brother's instability and incestuous aspirations, plots with Maximus and Senator Gracchus to reunite Maximus with his army and depose Commodus. Commodus, on the other hand, learns of his sister's treason via her little son, Lucius, and threatens her to divulge the conspiracy. Praetorian soldiers rush into Proximo's gladiator barracks, fighting the gladiators while Maximus flees. During the siege, Hagen and Proximo are slain while Jubei and the survivors are imprisoned. Maximus flees to the city walls, only to be intercepted by a group of Praetorian soldiers who use Cicero as bait, murdering him as soon as Maximus appears. Commodus personally challenges Maximus to a combat in front of a screaming audience, concluding that legends born in the Colosseum must die there. Seeing that Maximus's talent exceeds his own, Commodus stabs Maximus with a stiletto, puncturing his lung and concealing the wound behind the gladiator's armor. In the arena, the two trade blows before Maximus takes Commodus' sword from his grasp. Commodus asks his guards for a sword, but they refuse to lend him their weapons. Maximus lays down his sword, but Commodus takes out a concealed stiletto and renews his attack. Maximus then subdues Commodus and murders him with his own stiletto. A dying Maximus meets his wife and kid in the afterlife, as Commodus collapses in the now silent Colosseum. He grabs for them, but is stopped by the Praetorian prefect Quintus, who requests orders. Maximus orders the release of Proximo's gladiators and Senator Gracchus, whom he reinstates and commissions to spearhead the return of authority to the Senate. Rome will once again be a republic, as Marcus Aurelius planned. Lucilla rushes to Maximus's side as he collapses. Maximus dies and goes into the afterlife to his house and family in the distance, after being persuaded that her son is safe and Commodus is dead. Senator Gracchus and the gladiators of Proximo carry his body out of the Colosseum. One night, a newly liberated Juba buries Maximus's two little sculptures of his wife and kid in the Colosseum, in the patch of Maximus' blood, and declares that he too would one day join them, but not yet,